Good evening, Reggie Bray, Klondike Operations. Just want to start to tag on to what John said. We were able to get division into Division India, started scouting in there, looking at maybe possibly putting some line in from this H137 over to DP7 or 70. Looks like we'll probably try to move some equipment, maybe a crew in there tomorrow. Today in Kilo, AirTac was able to get up in a helicopter and do a recon. He wasn't able to get up into the fire. He just kind of skirted it. Looked like that we were able to see this out here. This still really hadn't moved very much in the last several days. Still have a footprint there that's just kind of staying in place. We did notice that there was some activity up in this part of the fire on the north side of the Klondike in India. So just trying to keep an eye on that. Mostly what we're seeing there is just from satellite imagery, MODIS, things like that. Moving down into Division Mike, the crew's resources there continued to strengthen that 4103 road. Just doing a lot of snagging and chipping, just trying to get that prepared. They're cutting off some places in the road that are going to be really hard to hold. Just touching that up while we've got time. Anticipating that fire backing down or us bringing that fire down to the road. They're also looking at these contingency lines or alternate lines as we refer to them. South, some of the old Biscuit fire line, this 4201 road. Just trying to make sure that we've got some options and a plan that we can put into place in case we get fire across the Illinois River. Moving over into Papa. The crews just continued to hold and improve, clean up the edge of the burnout from several days ago. We started to do some interior ignitions in here by hand on some roads. When the crews got in there this morning, the fire had pretty much already done all of that for us. So we were able to start to focus down here on a couple of roads to the south, just trying to piece this together, start to even this up so we've got some even fire backing down toward the division break. They also started or continued on this contingency line, this alternate line here, going around some structures here, private land coming up toward the 25 road. That went real well. So they're moving around, moving some equipment to the north, and going to continue back to the south to tie that in. In Division Tango today, the air just was not good enough to get the helicopter up for PSD operations with the helicopter, but we were able to use the drone. We dropped about 1,000 balls in there today. Got about 3/4 of a mile of depth, and they finished that operation just about an hour ago. And they're actually going to move around and start to put some fire down here in Papa Mike on some ridge tops, just trying to even that out for us. So that may be an operation for the Klondike resources that may be ongoing this evening. They can fly that till about 2200, so that's the plan for tonight. Things are looking really, really good. We have a lot of good depth, nice backing fire, and that's a lot of the good work that the night resources have been doing, and so we really appreciate that, just adding to that every night. The contingency line that they were completing or working on completing here coming out of Victor down toward the Waters Creek Road, they were able to finish that today. Structure group is still working on a lot of the structures around there, putting equipment, just putting that plan into place. They had a good day today, so really appreciate all the hard work there. Appreciate what you guys are doing tonight. Echo what John said. We couldn't do this without what you guys are doing, so really appreciate that. Thank you. Have a good shift.
Thank you, Chris. Hi, everybody. John Zulk, P&W 2 Operations. Current situation on the Taylor Creek fire. Reggie Bray is going to talk about the Klondike, but I'll stick in Branch 3, Division Gulf, north of DP 340. We've got fire that was laid down 2 nights ago, has been behaving very well under this inversion. Not a lot of new activity, and people have been mopping up this edge last couple of nights and days, and will continue to do so. From DP 125 over to the branch break in Division Alpha, we have now really got fire all the way to the Bear Camp Road. I think last night we thought we had made that connection. We had a little bit left to do today to finish up about a quarter mile where fire was hung up down at the lower end. That got finished about noon today, and things are looking very, very good. Still, please be really careful on that road tonight. There's so many things that are going to be falling off onto the road. Use your everything you got to keep aware. At the division break, I should also mention this part of that little stretch where we added the fire. We've got the most recent activity of fire coming to the road just above those houses in Galeese Creek. We need to spend some attention to that. Around to into Division Victor, a lot of great work has been occurring during the day shifts with mop-up. 300 to 600 feet along ODF ground, where appropriate in other places to meet the objectives that we have for mop-up. Shan Creek on the repair, folks. That area is now complete of repair. And then around in all the areas, we're looking at several more days, maybe weeks of repair that's going to go on for a while. But that's ongoing, and we'll see the results of that over time. Let's talk about contingency. And in Division Alpha, but on the Peavine Road, we have those activities with the heavy metal equipment. That's all done. We've got some chipping left to do to catch up with that. Then we've got Branch 5 out to Agnes, and things are going well there. Most of the heavy metal has between DP 125 and Agnes, that work is done. Most of the handline work is done. We're going to have people catching up with chipping and masticating where appropriate. And then we've got folks looking for opportunities down to snow camp and equipment moving around that way. So we're starting to shift kind of counterclockwise as we move along. Absolutely could not do this work without the hard work you guys do at nights under difficult conditions, dark, smoky. I'm really appreciative, and I wish you a great shift tonight. Thank you.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Todd Abel. Once again, I'll be doing night ops out there. Let me talk to you a little bit about overhead changes tonight. We talked last night about Matt Green taking over the division. He will do that tonight. Brian, who was the division in there, will bump up to ops trainee for tonight. He'll be right there with Matt working up in this country, so there'll be a really good transition. So just a heads up on that. And also, before I forget, Warm Springs and Pacific Oasis, get with me afterwards. We're going to bump you around into Tango Papa country and the Klondike to give them a little surge tonight for some firing operations in there. So get with me afterwards. Okay, so let's get started on what our task is up here tonight. And I want to, before I get going on that, you'll hear here in a little bit that we're going to have a wind change coming tomorrow. With that being said, we really need to get in here and secure this stuff. We talked about the dangers on the Bear Camp Road. Excuse me. What I'd like to do is get you guys in there early. If you have to flag those areas that have snags that could fall across the road, let's get them identified. I'll let Brian and Matt talk about that a little bit more. But we really want to get this area secured. We're going to have a wind change coming tomorrow, and that's important that we hold what we got here, because I think you guys know the amount of values at risk above us, the structures over here, the timber sales, timberland. We really want to make sure we anchor that in and make sure that doesn't go anywhere. So let's be real diligent up there tonight and get that stuff mopped up and cleaned up so we don't get anything across Bear Camp. Coming down into golf, we will send some people down here, whether it's a patrol status or we camp some people down there just to make sure none of that gets across our line. Once again, this is our primary line there. We want to make sure that's secured. And the purpose behind that is if we get fire across that line, we're getting into an old biscuit scar, and I think most of us have seen that. That would not be good. It would cause a lot more work for us. So we want to make sure that this is anchored. That's our purpose tonight. Make sure that isn't going to cross the road. Coming down into Tango, Papa, and Mike, probably not a bunch of work for us and Mike. We'll get more details, but a lot of scouting and stuff going down in there. They will be burning off that 105, like Reggie said, and that may carry a little bit further into the evening, pushing into your guys' shift. Just be heads up that that's happening down there. We'll continue to look at opportunities, get the daytime and nighttime divisions. We'll get a good download, and we'll take any advantage of anything we can do to get depth in there. But what I do know for tonight, and we'll have Warm Springs and Pacific Oasis head up to this country and tie in with the night division there, is we want to try to get some fire around the value at risk, which is the lookout tower. We want to give those folks that have been working there a little surge capacity to make sure we can get that done in there and make sure we protect that value at risk. If there's any questions, no one's got the right common operating picture or isn't clear on the common operating picture, please talk with the divisions. If you're still not clear, come find me and we'll make sure everybody's